Hello everybody and welcome to our Centennial episode of MSU Inside Out. I'm your host, Juan Vidal.
And I'm your other host, Jamie Council. Like Juan said, this is our Centennial episode. So we'll take a look at Red and Green, the history of that, which is a student publications here, and then also be talking to Erin Hughes here. Kyla will be talking to her about the Power of 100, which is a really great thing. Or Brianna Benson actually now is going to be talking about Power of 100.
Yep, and to continue with the theme of the history of MSU, Linda Benson is going to be in to talk about the Greek history. And Josh Sandy also is with me today, and he's going to talk a little bit about the history of student government and some of the stuff they have going on.
Because he's not on our show enough.
Exactly.
But he's very involved here. But now we're going to go over with Kyler to talk about the Power of 100.
Thanks, guys. She's a pretty busy girl on campus. She's a jack of all trades for Minot State. You always see her running around. But today she's going to talk about something Minot State is doing for their Centennial. Today with me today is Brianna Benson. Thanks for joining me today, Brianna.
Thank you.
Now, I say you were talking about something that Minot State's doing for the Centennial. You hear people talking about this Power of 100 all over campus. Tell us exactly what that is.
Power of 100 is like a giant service project across the whole campus. Our goal is to get 100 service projects of 100. So for example, a sorority did a project where there were 100 socks of love filled, and so then they donated it to the shelter. And another group stuffed 100 backpacks for food for hungry kids in the community.
So you said the sorority is doing stuff. Who all is getting involved? Is it just students or?
Everybody is getting involved. Students, faculty, there's even other campuses across the state that are getting involved, so it's huge.
Can you tell us about some other projects that are going on?
Yeah, there's just all of the service projects, and then even MSU Life. They are the people who host all the events on campus. They made 100 tie blankets to donate to the Winter Men's Refuge. So just projects everywhere.
Okay, I have a quote here from President Arthur Crane from 1915 at Minot State, and he said, "The motto of our institution shall be service. Service to all humanity." How is Minot State preserving this?
They are just really making service a focus this year. I mean, it's our Centennial. We could have focused on everything that where we've come from, where we're going to go, but with all of that, they decided to make service something that they wanted every student to really know about. That's important to us. So.
Okay, sounds very important, and obviously you're a busy girl. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing around campus.
I'm one of the co-directors of entertainment through student government, so I host all of the events on campus, all of the late night dances, movies, hypnotists. I'm the president of one of the sororities, the Sigma Delta sorority. I'm in campus players, and I'm double majoring, so it's busy.
Very busy girl, and thanks again for joining me today, Brianna.
Thank you.
And we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Hey, thank you, Kyler and Erin. That's really important stuff, Power of 100. I have Josh Sandy with me, former MSU student body president. I suppose your shift just ended.
It did a couple weeks ago. We're in transition mode now, and I actually still get to stick around though as vice president of finance. So
that's not too bad. How's been the transition? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you have to turn over.
You know, it hasn't been too tough. Marley Kotlek is the new SGA president, and she'll do an excellent job. And so she's made my job easy.
Awesome. Well, keeping with the Centennial theme, I called you and asked you to maybe gather a little bit of information on the SGA and the history of it. I tried also. It's a little tough to find, but what have you turned up, I guess?
It was interesting to dig deep into the history of MSU here, and I was able to find a list of past presidents, and it dates all the way back to 1938. And then I just kind of went through and looked, and it was really interesting to see we've had presidents from Washington to Florida. Mm-hmm. And so all over the map, we've had a lot of local people out of Minot, and it's been really cool to see just how diverse the SGA presidency has been.
Mm-hmm. And I looked for a long time. I couldn't find exactly when SGA started, but 1938, I suppose, would be a good a starting point as any, I suppose.
I think so.
What were some of the needs that the student body had to even start a SGA? Why did we start the whole student body organization?
You know, the whole point of SGA is to give students a voice on campus, and I'm sure that was a problem back then too. Students needed to be heard. And it really goes along with our mantra here at MSU, be seen, be heard. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure that was something faculty, staff, administration all have a voice, and students really need one too. And so I think that was probably a big part of it, and it still is today.
Yes, it is. I was part of SG for a while. It was kind of one of my favorite parts, mm-hmm. is getting going to the students in your respective department, listening, and then conveying those ideas to the student government, who then conveys the ideas to higher people. What are some goals that you see that the SGA fulfills today? As compared to back then, voice of the students. What are some of the modern day needs that the students need?
An interesting thing, I was working with Teresa Loftus this summer in the marketing department, and I actually saw an old SGA mission statement. And a lot of the same words are still in our mission statement. And so I think a lot of our needs are still similar. As far as today, we focus on campus events. We've got legislative issues going on, intramurals. We really try to cover the entire aspect of an MSU student's academic experience and make sure it's not just about classes, because there is a social side to things too.
Yes, and a safe social side
yes.
to things. What would you like to see in the future of SGA, and not even take that even further, but as MSU as a whole?
I've loved what Dr. Fuller's done the last 10 years. I've been around MSU, and I remember coming up here to football games, and the campus has just grown, and there's a big focus on engagement, and I love that. I think that's something that can really drive your campus forward, and I think that's something we need to keep for the future. And so I love seeing things get bigger and grow, and I want to see students enjoying their time here.
For those who may not know, what are some of the things that student government directly deals with? Like every day at a meeting, what are some of the stuff that you guys are passing, maybe not passing? Like what's the day in the life of a student government meeting?
Well, a lot of our programs that you may not know are even student government include the Beaver Bus Pass. That comes through us. Any students that need a ride with Taxi 5000 can get that from us. We do the Student Savings Club. That's another one of our initiatives. And so things like that to help students. And then, week to week, it really changes. This year we focused a lot on the new Gen Ed curriculum. We wanted to make sure that there were a lot of options for that. We had a lot of academic advising. That was something I went to. So year to year it changes. Next year will be a legislative year, and so there will be some politics involved too this time. And it's interesting because Minot State students, we don't have a poli-sci program, and so we're kind of a ragtag bunch, and we love that.
Yep, and the legislative session's always kind of a eerie time here at Minot State, honestly at any public college, because you never know what funding is going to get cut. You never know what's, they could go any direction basically, and we would just basically have to adhere.
And that's the importance of having students' voices heard.
That is true. There's true. Well, thank you very much for joining me here, Josh. This is Josh Sandy. He's the former student body president. Of course, he's staying on the student government here for next year. Next, we have campus news. Chris, we're going to be looking at a history of red and green.
Yeah, we sure are. Actually, Josh, how does it feel in 100 years from now when someone's looking back for other presidents? What do you feel like with having your name on that list now?
It's really cool. Hopefully I can be a piece of trivia someday.
One day. Who knows? All right. The Red and Green releases a new edition for student publication every Thursday. Jamie Council brings us more about the history of the student newspaper.
The Red and Green student newspaper has been a part of Minot State since fall 1922.
For a long time, the Red and Green was the only source of information about the campus that students received, and so that was its main contribution. This is where you went to find out what was going on.
The newspaper started out as the normal Echo, but switched to the Red and Green the following quarter. Since then, the student publication has undergone many slight name changes. It has become a standout student entity in the region.
In fact, we were the first newspaper to go online in the entire region of all the higher university papers in the upper Midwest.
The Red and Green is located on the third floor of the Student Center here on campus. In cabinets and behind closed doors is where every issue ever published for student publications are located and available for viewing. Reporting for MSU, I'm Jamie Council.
For additional information, feel free to visit student publications in the Student Center. We also have Emily Madon standing by with a little bit about the sororities. Sororities on Minot have had a checkered past. So we have Linda Benson with Emily Madon. Emily? We have I guess we have Emily standing by. Little technical difficulties. We'll get there in a little bit. But the fraternity just started a couple years back, and they've grown. And now MSU is starting to incorporate the sorority with a new one just opening up. And we'll have a little bit more information about that in a bit. But we have Emily standing by. All right, Emily, what do you have?
All right, hi guys, I'm Emily Madallan, and I'm here with some girls. We're going to talk about sororities on campus and Greek life. I have Linda Benson, who is the advisor for the Beta Theta sorority, and I have Marley Kodlak, who was just the president of the sorority, right? So just talk to me about, I know that Greek life used to be pretty big here on campus, and now for a while there it faded out, now it's kind of coming back. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Sororities were on campus. Ours started in 1928, and we were the third sorority. At the end, there were 7 fraternities and sororities, 4 sororities and 3 fraternities, and in the mid-'80s, it faded out.
So talk to me about now what you guys are kind of doing to bring it back to life again.
We have started doing a lot of philanthropy, and of course we're trying to get out in the residence halls and out on campus, just showing our names and trying to get everyone involved, hosting some events with MSU Life through SGA to let everyone know we're here and we're welcome to anyone who's interested in coming and seeing what we're all about.
So just talk to me a little bit about Greek life, I guess, because I've never been in a sorority or been really familiar with it. What's Greek life kind of all about?
For me, it's all about having a family. We really are all of our groups together. We're a big family. It's nice. I live 3.5 hours away from here, from my hometown, and so it's nice to come, and I have a whole support system here that they're here and they have my back no matter what. I know if I need anything, the other groups will help, or my group, and that's really what it's all about, is giving us a family away from home.
Oh, that's awesome. So Linda, I know that you're an alumna of the sorority. So what's it like for you now to be able to be working with these girls again as an advisor?
I loved seeing them come back in 2012, and I hope that other groups come back. If there are other groups that feel they would like to start a new sorority fraternity, Minot State is open to it. They gain a new family, they gain new experiences, and they have sisters and brothers after they leave college.
So why do you think that, people should get out and get involved in this kind of stuff? What would you say to somebody, I guess, that was, on the fence of joining or, coming up with a new group?
Greek life teaches you things that you would never imagine and puts you out of your comfort zone. And so you'll learn things from people that you would never expect. You'll find yourself doing things that you never ever thought you would do, and having a lot of fun. And so it really pushes you to learn some new traits, definitely the leadership skills, which will help you in your future. Looks really good on a resume. Employers like to see that if you're a member of Greek life, and so it just helps you really become a better person.
So how should people get involved, and how can students on campus or whoever wants to be a part of this, how can people get involved?
They should contact a member of a Greek organization, or they should contact Erin Hughes, that's a student activities coordinator.
All right. Well, is there anything else that I missed that you guys want to add at all?
Just come out, all of the groups, no matter what. If you're joining a new group, interested in one of our groups, definitely come and see what we're about. It's worth taking a little bit of risk.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for being here with me today. Again, this is Linda Benson and Marley Kodlak, and they're members, or so to speak, of the Beta Theta sorority. So thank you guys so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having us.
We will throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Linda, for joining us. MSU sororities, they were important in the past, and they will hopefully continue to be just as important in the future.
Yeah, they have been gaining momentum, but we're about halfway through the show. We still have a lot more coming up. We'll be looking at pastimes in North Dakota outdoors in the past century, a look at bringing women's sports to campus through Title IX, and also a quick look at weather after the break.
Thank you to our underwriters.
Walmart. At Walmart, you can save money so you can live better.
MSU Hockey Club, the 2013 ACHA Men's Division I National Champions. Visit us online at msubeaverhockey.com or on Facebook and Twitter.
Western Pacific Crane and Equipment, the authorized dealer for Manitowoc, Grove, and National Crane.
The Center for Extended Learning. Our mission is to provide flexible, accessible, and quality lifelong learning opportunities.
All-American Trophies, established in 1983, located on South Broadway for all your trophy and screen printing needs.
The Pita Pit. Sandwiches, soup, and salad. Fresh thinking, healthy eating.
Art Main, women's clothing, accessories, and art supplies, located on Main Street.
Midwest Oil Jobs. Brings employers, retailers, and other professionals from the Midwest under one roof to connect like-minded individuals.
Creative Property Management, over 45 years of experience in managing properties and helping tenants find the right home.
MSU Athletic Department, NCAA Division II, promoting good character and a positive experience. Red Rising.
MSU Red and Green, Minot State University's official student-run newspaper.
Digital Office Center. Offices located in Minot and Bismarck. Provides the complete line of Xerox equipment, supplies, and services.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. Located on South Broadway across from Walmart.
Be seen, be heard on the Alshire, Black Box, and Amphitheater stages. MSU Theater, where we tell the world's stories.
MSU Art Department, stimulating creativity campus-wide by providing exhibitions and art events.
Fiancé Bridal, located downtown Minot, and now you can shop online.
NDAD, help for people with disabilities and health challenges. Pepsi of Minot, the local Pepsi Cola bottling company serving the North Dakota areas of Minot, Dickinson, Devil's Lake, Bottineau, and Hettinger.
Rick's Jewelry, where you'll shimmer and shine.
Watney Realtors, a full-service real estate agency handling residential, commercial, and investment properties.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer, located in the Beaver Ridge Plaza.
RL, specializes in creating custom-made vintage mod children's and baby clothes.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream, good times to be together.
KCJB AM, 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
KIZZ FM, Z94, Minot's only station for today's hit music.
97 Kicks FM, today's hot new country.
KZPR FM, Minot's rock station, 105.3 The Fog.
KMXA FM, Minot's best music mix, Mix 99.9.
SOS Image, improving the health and self-esteem of every client.
Grizzlies, the place for wood-fried food, friends, and family.
We're back here on MSU Inside Out. We're halfway through the Centennial show.
We sure are, and we've got a lot of show to go. Lots of Centennial-themed interviews and packages. One package that I'm doing here is going to be coming up here in Entertainment News with Mariah is Inside Outdoors.
What you've been doing all
Yes,
semester.
and it's been very nice to be able to interview people and interact with people who are, very avid with the outdoors. I get to know a lot of little secrets and a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to find out why we have been doing the things outdoor that we have been doing for so long. Thanks, guys. Enjoying the outdoors has been more than a century pastime for North Dakotans. For their Centennial episode, Juan and Chris take a look at the people who have made outdoor adventures possible.
In the early 1900s, Minot State University was not the only institution getting a start. The Game and Fish Department was also in its infancy. I'm down here at the North Dakota State Fair Catch and Release Pond practicing some fly fishing. I know that Game and Fish just released some trout in here. See if we can get any up. The Game and Fish Department started as a board in 1909 and signed into law in 1930. Its mission, to conserve the wildlife in North Dakota.
Back in those days, during the settlement, during the homestead days, there was unregulated hunting and fishing, and there wasn't stuff being put back into the resource. Like now we have a really extensive stocking program. Back at that time, whatever fish were out there. You caught them, hopefully they bounce back. You know, without rules and regulations, yeah, things just get over-harvested. And one great example is the Audubon bighorn sheep. We had those in the Badlands in North Dakota, and literally the last one in North Dakota was shot. That species is extinct. It doesn't exist anymore.
Along with keeping our game and fish populations healthy, the department has taken on other programs.
A couple of the big pushes the Game and Fish Department has done over the last 10, 20, 30 years has been to promote youth activities and also to promote women in the outdoors. We have a huge program entitled Becoming an Outdoors Woman that has classes throughout the state throughout the year.
Because of the Game and Fish Department, that ponds like this exist, kids get to enjoy fishing, I get to practice a new skill. Join us next week for our finale episode on Inside Outdoors.
Special guests will join Juan and Chris to hit the links for some friendly competition in their final episode of Inside Outdoors. Our weatherman Chris Kapp will not be giving us his take on weather today, but it'll be my first weather debut. Beautiful skies we've had today in Minot with a low of just 41 and temperatures reaching the lower 60s. There's a chance of some light showers later this evening. So if you're coming to the spring football game and tailgating tomorrow, make sure you bring a light jacket in case of some suspected rain and 20-mile-an-hour winds. But temperatures should reach the upper 50s. It's going to be a cloudy weekend in Minot with temperatures in the 50s. And we'll start off the week with a chance of some rain, but still staying around that 50-degree mark. So that's weather for today and the rest of the week. Hopefully it'll be a good time out there for tailgating tomorrow night with KMSU, and it looks like you have Neil Roberts over there. Speaking of KMSU, it's good to see you, Neil.
Good seeing you, Mariah.
Yep, we'll be discussing a little bit about one of the newer entities on campus, which would be KMSU. Thanks, Mariah.
Thanks.
All right, well, joining me now is Neil Roberts, professor here, actually, my professor, so please give me an A.
Done and done.
Yes, okay, well, thank you for joining me, and we're talking a little bit about the history of KMSU, which is one of the newer entities here on campus that we kind of got into in the red and green piece earlier.
Sure.
That you killed the newspaper a little bit. Frank's words.
Yeah, don't blame radio for that one. I don't think TV. Yeah, but yeah, there's. It's been a fun stay, and you know the history of KMSU, Jamie, goes back, gosh, into the before I was here. Actually, I came in 1993, and the history of KMSU, as I understand, goes back to the late 1980s, where it started as a radio station, and then right around the late 90s, early 2000s, we started to converge the campus television station, and the ability to eventually go live here around the turn of the century or so.
So you were around during the switch from just radio into the television and the live part of that.
Right, and the entity back then, pre-Mid-Continent even, helped develop a deal with the city of Minot where they donated some dollars to help make that transition so that now we can go live here from the Dome. We, of course, host the local access channel, Channel 19.
Yep.
And so we can go live to the Dome, we can go live from the Beaver Dam, we can go live on several places on campus.
Yeah, I know that we've been able to do that. And what kind of started the transition, if you will, from radio and saying, hey, we can actually make a live station here?
Well, just you know, rolling up some sleeves and, you know, asking people if we could do it and, you know, firing our TV studio back up again. So back in 93, the studio had been black for 5 years or so. So now we got the things going on the TV side again, and pretty soon we're, hey, could we go live from here? And could we do this? And could we do that? And so yeah, things started to fall into place, and so we've just been creeping along ever since.
Well, it's amazing to see how far you've come. Or how far we'll continue to go. Cross your fingers. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And speaking of KMSU, they're putting on tailgating tomorrow for football. And I know, Leon, you're going to start off with softball because football is not the only sport here on campus.
Football is not the only sport on campus, but it's a pretty important one, at least to me it is. The Minot State softball team beat Upper Iowa 6-2, advancing to the second round of the NSIC tournament. Junior shortstop Ali Seigan provided a big bat in the afternoon, hitting a grand slam in the bottom of the fifth to give the Lady Beavers a 5-1 lead. The grand slam is Seigan's first home run of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time. With plenty of run support, junior pitcher Mindy Lormore had all she needed to get her 21st win of the season. Lormore threw a complete game, giving up just 7 hits. The Beavers are currently playing top seed Minnesota State Mankato in their second round matchup. The success of female sports at Minot State is well documented. However, before Title IX, women didn't have the same advantages as men. Andre Livingston caught up with the MSU women's head basketball coach, Sheila Green-Girding, to put things into perspective.
Well, I think Title IX is basically there to make everything equal for men and women. I think a long time ago things were very unequal. Guys always got treated better. When it came to equipment, they got the best equipment. The women kind of got the after or the hand-me-down. Now, you know, they try to make it where it's equal, and if it's not equal, it's definitely an issue. Guys get 2 pairs of shoes, the women get 2 pairs of shoes. I just think that, personally, I just think that as long as we have what we need, then I don't necessarily try to compare apples to apples. I think that some women take it too far. I think that there's some that look for it in every single little thing that there is. Quite honestly, if I wanted to look through our program with a fine-tooth comb, there's probably some issues that I could bring up. But I just don't think that it's necessary. I think part of it is, you know, do you have an administration that supports you and helps you to be successful and do the things that you need to do? And we certainly do here. Women's basketball has progressed so much further, and I think a lot of it had to do with the Title IX. We didn't have any money, so we came up with fundraisers and we raised the money. Yeah, the guys had the money. Did they fundraise it? I don't know. I don't have the facts to really know if that was an issue or not. So I've never really looked into what somebody else has versus what we do because I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in making sure we have what we need. So I really don't believe that you need to use Title IX for power. I think if you feel that things are fair to your program and to your women, then I think that that's as far as you need to go.
Since becoming an NCAA Division II program, Minot State has seen a majority of its success in female sports, with the basketball, soccer, volleyball, and softball teams reaching postseason tournaments. MSU baseball is in the midst of senior day, playing a doubleheader against Minnesota Crookston. The Beavers won the first game swinging a hot bat at the plate, scoring 16 runs on 18 hits. Junior outfielder Andrew Roach led the Beavers with 4 hits, and fellow junior Brad Rolfe added 3 of his own, including a game-high 5 RBIs. The Beavers conclude their season this weekend with a 4-game series at Bemidji State. Streaming of the games will be available through the MSU Athletic website. The annual Red vs. White spring football game is tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Herb Parker Stadium. This will be the first opportunity for the public to see the Beavers under new head coach Tyler Hughes. The game will consist of 4 12-minute running quarters with a running clock and the Beaver offense against the MSU Beaver defense with a modified scoring system. Before the game kicks off, join the KMSU staff in the Dome parking lot for the first tailgating event of the 2014 season. Come out and show your support as the Beavers wrap up their spring season. A last minute update, our softball team unfortunately lost to Mankato 3-1. The final just came in on Twitter. So they'll still play tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's a double elimination tournament though.
Okay,
So
well.
they're not done yet.
They're not done yet. Well, thank you, Leon. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us for our Centennial show, and we'll take you out with the song of the week, which is Ain't No Mountain by Marvin Gaye.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me, no matter